वीडियो लेक्चर मैम ने जो पढ़ा है ना वो वाला कंप्लीट कर लिया, लेकिन खुद के एनसीईआरटी रीडिंग बचा है। I don't know, Praveen. I think I'm kind of stressed. It was not a productive day for me. Okay, I'm turning off the chats, okay? Select the incorrect statement with reference to mitosis. A spindle fiber attached to centromere of chromosome. Chromosome contains at telophase. Select the incorrect statement with reference to mitosis, okay? Splitting of centromere occurs at metaphase. Centromere. Metaphase. Telophase. Spindle fiber attached to centromere of chromosome. Spindle fiber attached to centromere. Which of the following statement is correct? Decomposition is largely an off-season requiring. Which of the following statement is correct? Okay, decomposition is largely an off-season non-need requiring versus false. The rate of decomposition is controlled by chemical composition of detritus and climate factor. The rate of decomposition is controlled by. In recombinant DNA technology, a plasmid vector must be cleaved by 4 separate enzymes. Modified DNA ligase heat, a heated alkaline solution, the same restriction enzyme that cleaves donor gene. Plasmid vector must be cleaved by a flower is said to be zygomorphic if any vertical, radial and bilateral. A vertical section passes through its center, divides it into 2 equal vertical halves. Only one vertical section divides it into equal vertical halves. Cannot be divided into 2 equal vertical halves by any vertical section. Only one vertical section passing through its center divides it in 2 equal vertical halves. Which of the following plants have longer, slender, and coiled stem tendrils developed from axillary buds? Grapevine, pumpkins. You have analyzed the DNA isolated from a newly discovered virus and found that its base composition is 32% A, 72% C, 32% G, and 19% D. What would be the reasonable explanation of this observation? Analyze the DNA isolated from a newly discovered virus, found that its base composition is the virus must be extraterrestrial. In some viruses, double-stranded DNA is made up of base pairing containing 2 purines or 2 pyrimidines. Some of the tea was converted to C during the isolation procedure. In the figure given below, to the curves x, v, and z depicts respectively initial velocity, substrate concentration. Induction of cell division activity and delay in senescence is caused Induction of cell division activity and delay in senescence is caused by cell division. Auxin. Delay in senescence. Induction of cell division activity and delay in senescence is caused by auxin. G. Sugarcane, apple, and grapes elongation. Gorgonia C. fan, Adamsia C. anemone, Aplysia C. hare. Which of the following statement regarding gene therapy is correct? It is an application of biotechnology in which a defective gene is manipulated by introduction of a normal, healthy, and functional gene. In which a defective gene is manipulated by introduction of a normal, healthy, and functional gene. The genetic disorders that are being investigated for gene therapy range from sickle cell anemia to severe combined immunodeficiency. Severe combined immunodeficiency, which is the following statement regarding the first clinical gene therapy was given in 1990 to a 4-year-old girl with adenosine deaminase deficiency. All of this. Given below are the figure of sarcomere. Z line. B is Z line. An isotropic band. H zone. Isotropic band. DI band. Zygote of prophase 1 is characterized by synaptonymal complex. What would happen if you forgot to add cytokinin to the culture medium? Cytokinin to the culture medium Callus will not develop shoot buds. Callus will not develop root buds. Callus will stop differentiating. Both A and B. What would happen if the gene encoding a polypeptide of 50 amino acid has UAC at 25th position is mutated to UAA? UAA stop codon, right? UAC 25th position mutated to UAA. Stop codon. The polypeptide amino acid has UAC at 25th position is mutated to UAA. A polypeptide of amino acid will be formed. A polypeptide of 25 amino acid, 24 amino acid will be formed. Biotechnology has become an important tool in crop improvement, human healthcare, chemical industries, all of this. During the last week of the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle, the following events occurs. A rapid drop in progesterone level take place. Menstruation begins. The last week of luteal phase of menstruation cycle. Lack of LH leads to degeneration of corpus luteum. The endometrium is no longer maintained. 4 and 1. 4 and 1 तो सब में है यार. The correct order in which this occurs. अच्छा, a rapid drop in progesterone level takes place. 2 तो लास्ट में आना पड़ेगा, तो इधर दोनों में से 4 भी वहाँ पर है, तो 1 या 3. Lack of LH leads to degeneration of corpus luteum. 1 first. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding the genetic modification of crops? Which of the following statement is not correct regarding the genetic modification of crop? It makes crop more tolerant to abiotic stress. It results in decreased efficiency of mineral usage by plants. It helps to reduce post-harvest losses. It enhances the nutritional value of food. Which of the following tissues covers moist surface of vocal cavity and pharynx? Compound epithelium. Identify the structure. Identify the given structural formula and select the correct option. Purine. Purine 1, 3 position. 1379 position. Eupurin adenine guanine adenine adenine NH2 sixth position NH2 at sixth position. One, two, three, four, five, six. I think this is adenine. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Uracil, adenine and uracil. The mycorrhiza. In mycorrhiza, the association between fungus and the host root is highly specific, competitive, parasitic, mutualistic. Injection of glucagon will cause hyperglycemia, galactosemia, increased blood sugar. Glucagon, hyperglycemic, increased blood sugar level. Which of the following is not true for homologous chromosome pair? They come only from one of the individual parent. They come from only one of the individual parent. They usually contain slightly different versions of the same genetic information. They segregate from each other during meiosis 1. The following is not true for a homologous chromosome pair. The synapse during meiosis 1. They synapse during meiosis 1. Not true for synapse meiosis 1. Which of the following statements are true for a frog? The body offers the body color offers its protective coloration. Summer sleep for frog is called activation. Tail is present in the life cycle of frog. Mouth is bounded by pair of lips. Life cycle. Tail is present in the life cycle of frog. Which of the following statement is correct? ADH prevent conversion of angiotensin in blood to angiotensin. Aldosterone facilitates water reabsorption. Aldosterone. ANF enhances sodium reabsorption. Renin causes vasodilation. The graph relation carbon dioxide taken, carbon dioxide given, light intensity. The graph shows the relationship between light intensity and the giving and taking up of carbon dioxide by leaves of a plant. Why is most carbon dioxide given off when the light intensity is 0 units? Carbon dioxide taken up. Why is the most carbon dioxide given off when the light intensity is 0 unit? Because it is just the start of the experiment. Only respiration is taking place at the intensity of light. At this intensity of light. Only photosynthesis is taking place at the intensity of light. The rate of photosynthesis is equivalent to the rate of respiration. The oxygen receives only oxygenated blood, gills, spleen, lungs, liver. Which organ receives only oxygenated blood? Spleen. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a cnidarians? A central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening, hipstome, mostly marine, sessile, or free-swimming, radially symmetrical, shows cellular level of organization. So, cellular level, tissue level, I guess. Number of pyrimidine found in nucleotide is 3. During entire mitosis, what occurs first? Entire mitosis, what occurs first? Ayau. Occurs first. Cytoplasmic division, spindle formation, growth and development of daughter cell. Chromosome duplication, growth and development of daughter cell. The urinary system. In urinary system, aldosterone takes part in retention, reabsorption of which drug is used as medicine to help patient cope with depression and insomnia. Amphetamines, barbiturates. मैं पढ़ी हुई चीज़ भी सब कुछ भूल जाती हूँ, मैं क्या करूँ खुद का? During the process of decomposition, CO2 is consumed and O2 is released. During the process of decomposition, because decomposition के process में, during the process of decomposition, okay, CO2 is consumed, now O2 is consumed and CO2 is released. H2O is released, CO2 is consumed. Oxygen is utilized by the organism to break down nutrient molecule like glucose and to derive energy for performing various activities. Extinction of a species in a food chain is compensated by food web, ecological pyramid. Synocytic aseptate hyphae are characteristic features of synocytic aseptate. Phycomycetes, Rhizopus. Which of the following part of dicot root is made up of cells with suberin deposition in tangential as well as radial wall? Suberin deposition, Casparian. Asymptotic cycle में भी था cortex में. I just forgot. मैं सब कुछ भूली हूँ ऐसा लग रहा है. In the electron transport chain, a carrier holds electron at high energy level than the previous carrier. If a leaf cell of gymnosperm plant had 24 chromosomes, then its endosperm cell would contain chromosome. If leaf cell of gynosperm plant had chromosome 24 chromosome, then its endosperm triple 1 to 4 0 4 3 12 12 को 2 आने लगा ना 24 into 3 48 number of chromosome. Branching is inhibited by dash from the tip of the root, but this effect is encountered by dash from the root. Branching inhibited by dash from heparin. Biliform cells are present in bundle sheath mesophyll epidermis. Biliform cells are present in cyanobacteria are used in agricultural fields for crop improvement because nitrogen fixation. Cyanobacteria, what is this? Micropylori and बहुत ज़्यादा नींद आ रहा है लेकिन ना ये अभी भी 45-50 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना है. The signal transduction of steroid hormone across cell is through the signal transduction of a steroid hormone across the signal transduction Transduction of steroid hormone across cell is through binding of hormone to the cytoplasmic receptors. Steroid hormone. Binding hormone to cytoplasmic receptors, and the complex binds to hormone response element on DNA within promoter DNA. Binding of hormone to the transmembrane receptors, which initiates the production of second messenger that activates enzyme, which further activates transcription factor. Binding of hormone to the transmembrane receptors, which diffuse inside the cell cytoplasm and then activates the enzyme necessary for the activation of transcription factors. The hormone to the cytoplasm receptors that initiates the production of second messenger. Which of the following set represents the xerophytic characters of a monocot isobilateral leaf? Thick cuticle, sclerenchymatous patches, filiform cells. Which of the following is correct about the development of mature plant from a zygote? Follows a precise and order follows a precise and ordered succession of events. Only differentiation occurs. Involves the development of a mature plant from a zygote. L and M were exposed to different light intensity and temperature. They showed changes in their rate of photosynthesis, which have been represented in the following paragraph. Fallopian tube is about the category which includes related families is phylum, species, genus. Order. Where a pure strain of tall plant Tt with round plant RR is crossed with a pure strain of short Tt and wrinkled piece RR, F1 generation is produced. Then this F1 plant self-pollinates. How many genotypes with regards to the genes for the height and P shapes are produced in F2 generation? T. pure strain of tall plant. Find the true statement. ORI means origin of transcription. Some bacteria cells may have copy number of plasmid vector varying from 15 to 10, 15 to 100. Vector should have many recognition site for when alien DNA is linked with the origin of replication so that the alien piece of DNA can replicate and multiply itself in the host organism. This can be called क्यों इतना ज़्यादा नींद आ रहा है? When alien DNA is linked, बहुत ज़्यादा नींद आ रहा है सच्ची में. When alien DNA is linked with the origin of replication, so that this alien piece of DNA can replicate and multiply itself in the host organism, then this can be called transformation. Consider the following mRNA sequence. How many codons are present in this mRNA if the genetic codon is considered non-overlapping and overlapping respectively? UC, AC, GUG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. UAA, UAG. 6. How many codons are present in the mRNA? ओवरलैपिंग रेस्पेक्टिव. ओवरलैपिंग में क्या मतलब है यहाँ पर? One, two, three. Three. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19. 18 होगा. A patient of diabetes mellitus excrete diabetes mellitus and diabetes भूल गई एक और था. Insipidus. A patient of diabetes mellitus excretes glucose in the urine even when he is kept on carbohydrate-free diet. It is because glycogen from muscles is released in bloodstream. Amino acids are discharged in. Amino acids are catabolized. Which is correct with reference to chloroplast presence of algae and plant release O2 occurs only in cell with aerobic respiration. The stage transferred into the uterus after induced fertilization of ovum in the laboratory is embryo at 4 blastomer stage. Cannabis sativa is the source of cannabinoids. Photosynthesis consists essentially two biological reactions, one followed by other. The second of this reaction does which of the following? Photosystem 2. Essentially two biological reactions, one follows by the other. The second synthesize starch. In laboratory experiment, two species of the protist Paramecium 1 and 2 were grown alone and in the presence of other species. The following graph shows growth species 1 and species 2. Both species are Which of the following bacteria has found extensive use in genetic engineering work in plants? Agarobacterium tumefaciens. Which function is served by the tracheal system in insects? Sensation, respiration. Tracheal respiration. Which of the following is non-myelinated nerve fiber? Fish heart contains only oxygenated blood. False. Closer of AV valve produce the second heart sound. AV first. Incorrect. The vascular connection between 1 and 2 false. The vascular connection between the digestive tract and the kidney is called hepatic portal system. Purkinje fiber are not fiber present in heart. False. True. A A sequence of piece of polypeptide in a synthesis shows a ribosome holding two transfer RNAs. One tRNA has a polypeptide chain attached to it. The other tRNA has a single amino acid attached to it. What would the next picture shows? The polypeptide chains move and bound to the single amino. The polypeptide chain moves over and bound to the single amino acid. With the amino acid leaves the ribosome. The amino acid moves over and bonds to polypeptide chain. The tRNA will, with the polypeptide chain leaves the ribosomes. The tRNA with the amino acid leaves the ribosome. In a guava fruit, there are 300 seeds. How many meiotic divisions must have been involved in the development of this fruit? 1 to 5. Which of the following differentiates the cell membrane of eukaryotes and prokaryotes? Prokaryote cell membrane are thinner and contain more proteins. Eukaryotic cell membrane contain more proteins and larger phospholipids. Gases and water through a prokaryotic cell membrane at greater rates. Gases and water pass through a prokaryotic cell membrane at greater rates than those of eukaryotes. Many functions that are compartmentalized with organelles of eukaryotes are associated. क्या मुझे नींद की वजह से क्वेश्चन भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. जल्दी जल्दी करके सुन लेती हूँ. Which of the following differentiates the cell membrane of eukaryotes and prokaryotes? Prokaryotic cell membrane are thinner and contain more proteins. Eukaryotic cell membranes contain more proteins and larger phospholipids. Gases and water passes through a prokaryotic cell membrane at greater rates than through those of eukaryotes. Many functions that are compartmentalized with organelles. I don't know. I'm so confused. The four structures listed are part of human excretory system: bladder, kidney, ureter, urethra. Okay, order बताना है. पहले यूरिटर आएगा, उसके बाद ब्लैडर आएगा. किडनी तो सबसे आउटर मोस्ट हो गया ना, तो छोड़ो इसको. पहले आएगा तुम्हारा ब्लैडर, फिर आएगा तुम्हारा यूरिटर, उसके बाद आएगा तुम्हारा यूरिथ्रा. यूरिटर then bladder. 3 and 1. Ureter and bladder. Then urethra. Three and 1. It's option D. How do the pills work. Inhibit ovulation and implantation, alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent or retard the entry of sperm, inhibit spermatogenesis. स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस से इनहिबिट करेगा, ये तो नहीं होगा, ये तो वही है 1 and 2. Substance that induce RNA lactose A को 2, यहाँ A का 2 है, वही मार्क कर दो भाई. नॉन कोडिंग सेगमेंट ऑफ डीएनए, नॉन कोडिंग को ना सेगमेंट ऑफ डीएनए, एंटीसेंस. नॉन कोडिंग को ट्रांसक्रिप्ट नहीं बोलते, इंट्रॉन बोलते हैं. हाँ, पार्ट ऑफ टीआरएनए, ट्रांसफर आरएनए को एंटी कोडोन ई को 3. mRNA as it leaves the DNA, mRNA. D को 4 ट्रांसक्रिप्ट. forms part of ribosomes, rRNA 1, C को 1. Among the animals groups given below, which one has the highest percentage of endangered species? Insect, mammals, amphibians, reptiles. भाई साहब मैं भूल गई, मैं सब कुछ भूल गई, क्यों इतनी जल्दी? I think it's amphibians. Which of the following is not true about echinoderms? The excretory system is absent. Not true about echinoderms. Sex are separate and reproduction is sexual. Development is indirect with free swimming larva. Mouth is present on the upper dorsal side and the anus on the lower ventral side. इतने डिटेल में तो कौन ही याद रखेगा? एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम एब्सेंट होगा एकिनोडर्म्स में. वाटर वास्कुलर सिस्टम. Four different steps that occurs during meiosis are given in the following list. Four different steps that occur during meiosis are given in the following list. Complete separation of chromatid, pairing of homologous chromosome, lining of the paired chromosome on equator, crossing over of the chromatid. Package in nahi. I think 4 is the first one. Complete separation of chromatid. पेयरिंग ऑफ होमोलोगस क्रोमोसोम. भाई साहब कितना कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा है. पेयरिंग ऑफ होमोलोगस क्रोमोसोम. साइनएप्टनी मिल्साइकोटिनमा हुन्छ, त्यसको बादमा मात्रै आउँछ त्यसको कारण 2. देन क्रसिङ ओभर 4 to 4, लाइनिंग ऑफ पेयर्ड क्रोमोसोम ऑन इक्वेटर. इसके बाद ही ये 3 आएगा. कंप्लीट सेपरेशन ऑफ क्रोमैटिड. 2 4 3 1. Option C. The part of the brain which controls vision, touch, hearing, motions and memories. I think this one is that association reason. The part of the brain which controls vision, touch, hearing. I think it's cerebellum. मैं गलत भी हो सकती हूँ. हाँ. Which of this produces kerosene? Red algae. Which of the following is correct regarding HIV, hepatitis, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis? Trichomoniasis is a STD, whereas the others are not. A. False. Gonorrhea is a viral disease, whereas other are bacterial. अब ये तो मुझे कैसे पता होगा? नहीं, HIV तो viral ही है. HIV is a pathogen, whereas other are disease. Hepatitis B is eradicated completely, whereas others eradicated completely. हाँ, hepatitis B का क्योर ही नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है. Trichomoniasis is STD, whereas the others are not. ये भी false है. मुझे क्या ढूंढना है? करेक्ट ना. गोनोरिया इज अ वायरल डिजीज whereas other are बैक्टीरिया. यहाँ ये हेपेटाइटिस भी, ये तो है, यही है सही शायद. HIV is a pathogen whereas other are diseases, whereas the others are diseases. Which of the following is correct regarding HIV? अच्छा, HIV के regarding hepatitis B, gonorrhea and eradicated completely ना. एक इसका कोई क्योर ही नहीं. वायरल डिजीज whereas other are बैक्टीरियल नहीं हो सकता. यही सही है. Study the age pyramid given. It's okay, ma. Study the age pyramid given below and select the correct statement regarding this. ABC. Pre-reproducing. Pre-reproductive, reproductive and post-reproductive. Study the age pyramid given below and state the correct statement regarding this. A is a triangular age pyramid where pre-reproductive stage is very large as compared to the reproductive and post-reproductive stage of the population. This type of age structure indicates that the population would increase rapidly. Correct ही तो है ये. B. B is inverted bell-shaped age pyramid where number of pre-reproductive and reproductive is almost equal. This type of age structure indicates that the population is stable. ये भी सही है. ये all ही करना पड़ेगा इसका. All of this above. All of this. C is urn-shaped age pyramid where number of reproducible individuals are present, where more number of reproductive individuals are present. This type of age structure indicates that the population is declining. Correct. The thick-walled sexual spores produced by the fusion of two gametes are zygospores. Association areas are neither clearly sensory nor motor in function. Associations areas are responsible for fixed functions like intersensory association, memory, and communication. Both are true. Both 1 and 2 are true. The enzyme DNA dependent RNA polymerase transcription catalyze the polymerization reaction in dash direction 5' to 3'. The taxonomic category below the level of family is family, genus, species, genus, family. उसके बाद order ना. Genetically engineered vaccines are also called third generation vaccine, second generation vaccine, combined vaccine. None of this. Genetically engineered vaccines are also called third generation vaccine, second generation vaccine, combined vaccines. क्या बोलते हैं नहीं पता. Genetically engineered vaccines are also called. NCERT का लाइन भी तुझे नहीं पता था ही नहीं. NCERT में जब मैं पढ़ रही थी. Pure line is connected with the development of pure line, homozygosity and self-assortment. Heterozygosity and linkage. Homozygosity, self-assortment. पता नहीं self-assortment क्या लिखना चाह रहे हैं. Touch, smell, cranial nerves, medulla oblongata. Nasal epithelium, foramen magnum, sensory papillae. Okay, touch, smell. I think smell, sensory papillae. Bico 3. Is there anything like Bico 3? Nah. Bico either 1 or 4, and it's 1. Smell, nasal epithelium, correct. So not this one, okay. B को 1, A को touch, either 3, either 2. Touch, sensory papillae, foramen magnum. Sensory papillae is more accurate, I guess. Cranial nerves. Okay, nasal epithelium, foramen. Sensory papillae, peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. Sensory papillae. D2. Foramen magnum. C4. Cranial nerves, peripheral nervous system. Cranial nerves. Or cranial nerves. Cranial nerves. Brain and spinal cord. CNS. C4 है, C4 वाला कहाँ कहाँ है? Echo 3. Sensory papillae. D2. Which of the following is not a biotic component? Phytoplankton, herbivores, light. Not a biotic component. Bacteria. In dash aestivation, sepals or petals in a roll. Just touch one on the valved at margin. This one is valved, okay? Without overlapping, as found in Calotropis. Resemblance between widely different groups due to common adaptation is known as convergent evolution. Complete the following statement by selecting the correct option. Receptors associated with aortic arch and carotid artery can recognize changes in dash and dash. Aortic arch and carotid artery. CO2 को CO2 and H plus oxygen तो है ना, and send signal to respiratory rhythm. एपनिस्टिक सेंटर आई दोनों ही सही लग रहा है. मैं क्या करूं भाई साहब, मैं क्या करूं? Receptor associated with aortic arch and carotid artery. Rhythm center ये एपनिस्टिक सेंटर तो ये भी तो सेंस करता है ना. Which of the following statement is true? The anticoagulant heredin is produced from the transgenic brassica. ये तो मैंने पढ़ा भी नहीं. BT in BT cotton indicates that it is genetically modified organism produced through biotechnology. Somatic hybridization involves the fusion of two complete plant cell carrying desired genes. Somatic hybridization involves the fusion of protoplasm. Which of these is non-bacterial biofertilizers? Non-bacterial biofertilizer is Azotobacter, Azospirillum. Non-bacterial. Rhizobia, mycorrhizae होगा non-bacterial तो. Pollinators occurs in pollen grain. Pollination occurs released from plants and stigma. हम यहाँ पर क्या छोड़ा था? जेनेटिकली इंजीनियर्ड वैक्सीन्स आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड थर्ड जनरेशन वैक्सीन, सेकेंड नहीं पता मुझे ये क्या था. Which of the following differentiates the cell membrane of eukaryotes and prokaryotes? Which of the following differentiates the cell membrane of eukaryotes and prokaryotes? Prokaryotic cell membranes are thinner and contain more protein. Eukaryotic cell membrane contain more protein and larger phospholipids. Gases and water passes through a prokaryotic cell membrane at greater rates than through the eukaryotes. A sequence of picture of polypeptide in a synthesis shows a ribosome holding two transfer RNAs. tRNA. A patient of diabetes mellitus excretes glucose in urine even when he kept on a carbohydrate-free diet. It is because when a pure strain of plant TT with wrong piece RR is crossed. Pure strain. आई डोंट नो, ये तो डायरेक्ट एनसीईआरटी का ही है, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि मैंने वो देखा ही नहीं. लेकिन अभी मेरा देखने का दिल कर रहा है, लेकिन मैं नहीं देखूंगी, फिर वो चीटिंग होगा ना. Rate of photosynthesis. When two plants L and M were exposed to different light intensities and temperature, they showed changes in their rates of photosynthesis, which have been represented in the following graph. C4 plant L is C4 plant and cannot function at light intensity above the saturation point. signal transduction of steroid hormone across the cell is through binding of hormone to the cytoplasm receptors and the complex binds to hormone response element on DNA within the promoter DNA. Binding of hormone in the transmembrane receptors which initiates the अच्छा वो steroid hormone वाला signal transduction of steroid hormone ovarian रे एउटा के थियो uterine थियो ना binding of the hormone to the cytoplasmic receptors and the complex bind to hormone response element on DNA within promoter DNA. Binding of hormone to transmembrane receptor which initiates the production of second messenger. Binding of hormone to the transmembrane receptors which initiates the production of second messenger that activates enzyme which further activates transcription factor. Binding of hormone to the transmembrane receptors which diffuse inside the cell cytoplasm and activates the enzyme necessary for the activation of transcription factor. स्टेरॉइड हार्मोन FSH वाला एक तो पेप्टाइड हार्मोन था मैं भूल गई मुझे नहीं पता कौन कहाँ था बुलिफॉर्म सेल्स आर प्रेजेंट इन बुलिफॉर्म वो मोटे वाले सेल एपिडर्मिस में बंडल शीथ सेल वास्कुलर बंडल बुलिफॉर्म मोटे मोटे बड़े बड़े से लीफ में होते थे एपिडर्मिस में तो नहीं होगा क्योंकि ये एपिडर्मिस तो वो हुआ ना स्टेम में हुआ ना वो पत्ते में थे बंडल शीट सेल बुलिफॉर्म सेल्स आर प्रेजेंट आइदर वास्कुलर बंडल लिखो बुलिफॉर्म सेल्स आर प्रेजेंट इन वास्कुलर बंडल या फिर मेसोफिल लिखो पत्तामा हुन्छ अनि वास्कुलर बंडल कोले पनि हुन्छ जस्तो लागि बुलिफॉर्म सेल्स बंडल शीट था ना वो तो फिर मेसोफिल्स होगा फिर मैं तो पूरा कंफ्यूज हो गई branching is inhibited by dash from the zalim chandan root and should पे herbicides addition बंद करो okay branching is inhibited by xylem differentiation cell division rooting in adventitious rooting in cutout or something like that apical dominance but this effect is encountered by branching is inhibited by ऑक्सिन शायद ऑक्सिन ही तो अपाइकल डोमिनेंस करता है ना बट दिस इफेक्ट इज एनकाउंटर्ड बाय साइटोकाइनिन मुझे नहीं पता यार Diploid root is made up of cells with suberant deposition in tangential epidermis, endodermis. कॉर्टेक्स में तो नहीं होगा इधर एंडोडर्मिस में होगा या फिर पेरिसाइकल में होगा डाइकोट पेरिसाइकल एंडोडर्मिस लगा के जाओ ये तो मुझे वैसे भी नहीं आएगा एल्डोस्टेरोन टेक्स पार्ट्स इन रिटेंशन रीअब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ वाटर एंड सोडियम graph shows the relationship between light intensity and the giving and taking up of carbon dioxide by the leaves of a plant. Carbon dioxide take up. Okay, why is most carbon dioxide given off when the light intensity is 0 unit? Let's just start off the experiment. The respiration is taking 0. Rate of photosynthesis is rate of respiration. Photosynthesis is क्वेश्चन भी क्या लिखते हैं ये लोग, मुझे समझ में भी नहीं आता है. Which of the following statement are not true for frogs? पढ़ा ही नहीं है frogs मैंने. Which of the following is not true for homologous chromosome pair? They come only from the individual parents, one of the individual parent. They usually contain slightly different version of the same genetic information. They segregate from each other during meiosis 1. Synapse. Homologous chromosome. Synapse. Meiosis 1 में. आई थिंक मेरा -1 में जा रहा है अच्छी तरीके से, लेकिन मैं चाहती भी तो यही हूँ. क्यों ही चेक करना था मुझे. The same restriction enzyme that leaves the donor gene. A plasmid vector must be cleaved by If you have analyzed the DNA isolated from a newly discovered virus and found that its basis composition is 32, 17C, ये तो CT, CT करना है. What would be the reason? What would be a reasonable explanation for this observation? The virus must be extraterrestrial. In some virus, double-strand DNA is made up of base pairs containing 2 purines or 2 pyrimidines. Some of the T was converted to C during the isolation. The genome of the phage is single-stranded and not double-stranded. ये भी डी भी हो सकता है, लेकिन मैं बी लगा के भाग जाऊंगी. कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो मुझे नहीं देखनी है, नहीं करनी है सही. और ड्यूरिंग द लास्ट वीक ऑफ ल्यूटल फेज ऑफ menstrual cycle the following. आई मुझे नहीं चेक करना है इसके आगे, परेशान हो जाती हूँ मैं. मेंढक के लिप्स होते हैं क्या? ये लोग पूछ रहे हैं. माउथ इज बाउंड बाय अ पेयर ऑफ लिप्स. टेल तो प्रेजेंट होता है लार्वा में. और समर स्लीप को ही एस्टिवेशन बोलते हैं. पर्टिकुलर मैं ना यही लगा दूंगी, उन लोगों के पास नहीं होता है शायद. इसमें भी नेगेटिव. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. The graph shows the relationship between light intensity and the giving and taking up of carbon dioxide by the leaves of a plant. मुझे ना सबसे ज़्यादा रिग्रेट वो वाला हुआ, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस से एक डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया था, मैं नहीं कर पाई क्योंकि मैंने वो चैप्टर लीव किया है अभी तक। The graph shows the relationship between the light intensity and आई कांट बिलीव मेरे पिछले स्कोर 261 था, इस बार कितना है गेस करो। मुझे नहीं पढ़ना, लेकिन नोट कर लेते हैं स्कोर। ये बढ़ने की जगह नीचे घट के क्यों आया? भाई साहब मैं क्या करूँ खुद का। सेवेंथ मार्च में इतना था, फिर आज के कितने है, 14th में आया भाई साहब मेरा और भी कम। जो गलत हुआ ना एक बार वो देख लेती हूँ कि कौन सा चैप्टर का सबसे ज़्यादा गलत हुआ। The leaf of gymnosperm plant had 24 chromosome, 12 क्रोमोसोम डिक्रीज हुआ। एंडोस्पर्म सेल would be। अच्छा अभी समझ में आया क्वेश्चन, आंसर देख के क्वेश्चन समझ में आया। 12 क्रोमोसोम सही है। The excretory system is that mouth is present. Mouth is open on the upper dorsal side and anus of the lower। ये था गलत। एनिमल किंगडम का एक गलत, प्लांट किंगडम का एक गलत। ओके इसका एकिनोडर्म से गलत है, इसका जिम्नोस्पर्म। Only one vertical section passes, its center divides into two equal। जाइगोमॉर्फिक वाला मतलब कि मॉर्फो से भी एक जाइगोमॉर्फिक वाला। ओके इसको छोड़ के और 3 में एक गलत। बिलीफॉर्म सेल्स आर प्रेजेंट इन एपिडर्मिस ही था, मैंने चेंज कर दिया था इसका एंड में। सही से ना मैंने स्किप करके गलत में लगा दिया, ये था एनाटॉमी का ना। एपिडर्मिस बिलीफॉर्म सेल्स वाला। which is incorrect with reference to chloroplast. Occurs only in cell with aerobic respiration. Photosynthesis in higher plants. ये भी गलत हो गया। मुझसे नहीं होगा। It's okay. नॉट दिया था, मुझे लगा कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज ट्रू, उसमें नॉट था, मैंने देखा ही नहीं। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ट्रू, तो हम लोग इसको spindle formation during entire mitosis. What occurs first? Spindle formation. अच्छा, in the electron transfer chain, the carrier holds electron at lower energy than the previous one. मैंने कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया कि ऐसा ही है। मुझे तो कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है। Oxygen is utilized by the organism to indirectly break down nutrients. Fish heart contains only oxygen. False. Closure of AV valves produce the second heart. False. The vascular connection between the digestive tract and kidney is called hepatic portal system. True. False था। लास्ट वाला भी false था। मीडियम था ये। मीडियम और हार्ड वाली क्वेश्चन तो मैंने सारा ही गलत किया, मतलब ये भी हार्ड था। अच्छा, ये भी हार्ड था। ये वाला, ये वेरी हार्ड था। मुझसे मीडियम वाले ही नहीं बन रहे, वेरी हार्ड वाला तो गलत करना ही था। मीडियम। पेशेंट ऑफ लाइफ, ये भी मैंने एक्सचेंज किया था। मैं ऊपर जाके फिर मैंने इसको ना स्किप करके नीचे वाले में लगाया था, गलत निकला। A patient of diabetes mellitus excretes glucose in urine even when he kept on a, when he is on a carbohydrate free diet. It is because fats are catabolized and adipose tissues. सही है। ऑटोनोमिक नर्व, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉन माइलिन, ये तो इजी था होगा, मीडियम था। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉन माइलिन ऑटोनोमिक नर्व, फिर भी मुझे एक बार अच्छे से देखना चाहिए। ऑटोनोमिक नर्व, अच्छा मैं तो ये तो सेरिब्रम में ही लगाया था, मैंने नींद के कारण सेरिबेलम में लगा दिया। मैंने बोला भी था, तुम लोगों ने सुना भी होगा। आई एम नॉट श्योर करके ऐसे करके मैंने लगाया था। मैंने आपको सेम देखा शायद, इसलिए मैंने ऊपर नीचे का ये दो। कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके माँ। 42 द सिग्नल transduction of steroid hormone across cells, binding of hormone to the cytoplasmic receptors and the complex. The signal transduction of steroid hormone across cell is through. ये मैं देख लूँगी एक बार, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा कंफ्यूज हो गई थी ना, मुझे दोनों का डिफरेंस ही नहीं पता चला। मतलब ये वाला प्रोटीन था और ये वाला लग तो रहा था यूटेराइन वाला। एस्ट्रोजन, binding of hormone to cytoplasmic receptors and complex bind to a hormone response element to DNA within promoter DNA. इसका नहीं लग रहा है, पता नहीं कितना गंदा है। मीडियम था ये भी। अच्छा और ये 375। 301 plus 75 pollen. A guava fruit, there are 300 seeds. How many meiotic division must have been involved in the development of the fruit? 100 to 120 mm लॉन्ग था, मैंने 10 to 12 mm लॉन्ग लिख दिया। Lack of LH leads to degeneration of corpus luteum. Then 1. Rapid drop in progesterone level takes place. 4. The endometrium is no longer maintained. 2. Menstruation begins. Self-assortment. Okay. 9 ही था, लगा देती। The genome of the phage is single-stranded and not double-stranded. अच्छा 6 and 16 था, ठीक है। मैंने सुना था, मैंने क्या लगा दिया था, कोकेन लगा दिया था। वो चैप्टर भी मैं भूल गई हूँ, मतलब कि नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन, बस ये एक ही था क्या? फोटोसिंथेसिस नहीं था, साइनोबैक्टीरिया। ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गे फोटोसिंथेसिस भी तो करता है। ये तो एनसीईआरटी का ही लाइन होगा ना। Both species are affected by interspecific competition, but species 2 is affected less. CO2. Photosynthesis consists of essentially two biological reactions, one followed by other. The second of these reaction does which of the following? Fixes O2. अजीब लग रहा है। Which of the, अब तो सिलेबस भी कंप्लीट होने वाला था, अब तो फुल मार्क्स आना चाहिए था ना। क्या करूं? मैं तो सोच रही थी अब केम और फिजिक्स का थोड़ा थोड़ा रिवाइज करूंगी, लगता है बायो ही रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा। What would happen if you forgot to add cytokinin to the culture medium? Callus will not develop shoot buds. Induction of cell division activity and daily senescence is caused by cytokinin. मोरुल्ला मोरुल्ला को मैंने काट के एकदम जाइगोट कर दिया था गिफ्ट सोच के मोरुल्ला ही था और थर्ड जनरेशन ओके ये मेरे साथ अच्छा नहीं हुआ हो गया अब मिस सोने चली जाती हूँ क्योंकि मैंने पूरा टेस्ट में तहस नहस कर दिया है वैसे मैंने चैट ऑन कर दिया है तुम लोग बोल सकते हो मेरा भी सेम कंडीशन है मैं और जोर जोर से रोना चाहती हूँ Good night all. Bye. I'm preparing for NEET. Good night. Bye. बाकी लोग नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं ना निशांत वगैरह कहाँ गए भवा you are there I'm so glad भवा अभी तो मैं आई भी नहीं हूँ लेकिन थैंक यू Good night Baba good night Shubham good night I don't know how to pronounce your name it's Jabi okay bye everyone oh Nidhi you are also there निशांत भी है मुझे लगा मैं एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रही थी भवा और निधि को लेकिन आई एम सो ग्लैड कि तुम लोग हो साक्षी पटेल तुम क्या लिखना चाहती हो मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कल डिपेंड करेगा कि कितने बजे उठेंगे कितने बजे उठे वैसे डिसाइड करते हैं ना अभी तभी सुबह लाइव सेशन करते हैं सब लोग अपनी अपनी ना अटेंडेंस लगाने आ जाना भवा निधि और शुभम निशांत सब लोग आ जाना ओके श्री जानी why are you only studying biology always because I have to increase my marks through bio मुझे भी नहीं सोना है बट सोना होगा शायद हाँ सोना होगा और कल का टाइम डिसाइड करो केमिस्ट्री फिजिक्स कैसे मार्क्स आ रहे हैं अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं कर रही हूँ मुझे लगा कल मेरे 500 आराम से आ जाएंगे लेकिन अभी तो 300 भी नहीं आ रहे हैं तो समझ सकते हो ना तुम ओके, गुड नाइट निधि। 8 या 7 पे करे? ओके। बाकी सब लोग क्या बोलते हो, 8 पे करे या 7 पे करे? बाकी लोग भी बोलो, उसी टाइम पे आ जाऊंगी मैं तो। फुल टेस्ट दिया था, लेकिन मैंने फिजिक्स और केमिस्ट्री का वो नहीं किया, क्वेश्चन भी नहीं किया, क्योंकि मैंने कुछ रिवाइज भी नहीं किया है, कुछ पढ़ा भी नहीं है इसलिए। तो बायो का हाँ फुल टेस्ट तो कह सकते हैं। 3 AM पे आना है भाई, पागल इंसान। अभी ही 2 तो होने वाला है। हाँ इट्स ओके अयान। Okay, Srijani is saying 8 AM. Then it's fine. We'll meet at 8, okay? Bye all. Bhava, Shubham is kidding. I don't think he's serious. It's already 2. Jab, I think I can complete the syllabus next year. Not this time. Okay, Ravi Verma. हाँ अयान। I don't know, मैं कर सकती हूँ शायद। You can do it, Ima. हाँ इतना कर सकती हूँ। I'm not sad, I'm happy. चलो बाय। मुझे तो अब सिर्फ इस चिल्लाने का दिल कर रहा है, मुझे यानी के पास जाना है। जॉम्बी जैसा फील हो रहा है। भाई मैं तो अभी आया था, क्यों लेट आए एलेक्स? क्यों लेट आए? तुम्हें जल्दी आना चाहिए था। ट्वेंटी डेज ही है हम लोगों के पास, सिर्फ 20 डेज। मैं तो कंपटीशन में आ भी नहीं रही हूँ एलेक्स, प्लीज ऐसी बात मत करो के। बुरी बात तो ये है कि अब मैं सोने जाऊंगी, फिर भी मुझे नींद नहीं आएगा। ओके जबी। चेतन मैं सिक्किम से हूँ। एनीवेज मैं जा रही हूँ, ओके बाय बाय एवरीवन। ठीक है यार। बाय रवि, बाय भवा, बाय शुभम, बाय ऋषभ। आई थिंक निधि लेफ्ट राइट। बाय निशांत। हाँ, फुल एनर्जी के साथ। मार्क्स जैसे आ रहे हैं ना उसके उसे देख के तो फुल एनर्जी तो नहीं आएगी। बाय बाय नोनू। मुझे लगा कि तुमने लीव किया नोनू। मैं तुम्हें कैसे भूल सकती हूँ। कंप्लीट फिजिक्स मतलब कि 12th का पोर्शन किया है लेकिन वो रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा, और केमिस्ट्री का भी कुछ रिवाइज नहीं किया है। मुझे लगा कि मैं 20 दिन में केमिस्ट्री कंप्लीट कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन वो मेरा बहेम था। मैं जा रही हूँ कि मैं अपना फ्रस्ट्रेशन ना सारा ट्रांसफ़र कर दूंगी सब लोगों में। बाय बाय। गुड नाइट ऑल। हाँ पहले ही करना था लेकिन मैंने नहीं किया ना, इसलिए। ओके शुभम। ओके आयान, ट्राई करूँगी। ओके, हो सके तो कर लेंगे। बाय भवा इफ़ यू आर देयर। बाय एलेक्स, बाय नोनू, बाय शुभम, बाय अयान, बाय पटेल, बाय रवि, बाय जाबी। जो भी लेफ्ट है उसको भी बाय। बाय निशांत, बाय बाबा, बाय चेतन।